Hello and welcome to Breezy Chatter. Today I'm going to be talking about the bold and the beautiful. So let's start with Paris, Grace, and Carter. So it looks like Paris is telling her mother that she is in love with Carter and Carter is in love with her. And Grace, instead of addressing her daughter, she's mainly addressing Carter and telling him that he's not worthy of Paris. And she's telling her daughter, if you tie yourself to Carter, he will be your downfall. And why would you want to be with someone who's caused your sister so much pain? And Grace, of course, mentions Zende, and Carter does say that he does not want to hurt Zende, and neither does Paris. And Grace is not buying it. She's like, yeah, sure, you don't want to hurt Zende. That's why my daughter's here half dressed. Paris had to remind her mother that she is an adult. She's not a child. And she told her mom that she could not make these kind of demands on her relationship. And Grace looks to Carter instead of addressing her daughter. And she says, oh, so that's what you think? You think I don't have a right to voice my opinion? And it's almost like she's blaming Carter for her daughter's words instead of addressing her daughter. Carter, in an effort to sort of smooth things over and to just be done with this headache, because it is becoming a headache, he tells Paris that he does care for her, but Grace is right and that she should marry Zende should he propose. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how this all unfolds, because we do have Zende who's working up the nerve to propose to a Paris who is not really interested in him, and he knows it. But I think Grace has sort of pumped him up enough or convinced him enough to give it a shot anyway. And now we have Carter telling Paris to go with Zende, be with Zende. Do you think Paris will take the advice of her mother and Carter? Or will she dig her heels in and say, no, I want to be with Carter, and break the news to Zende? We'll have to wait and see what happens there. So then we have Taylor and Ridge. They are enjoying each other's company. They're kissing, they're cuddling. Taylor, she knows that Ridge is still deeply in love with Brooke and that they've just broken up not too long ago. And although she's enjoying the time that she's spending with Ridge, she has no expectations. And she doesn't want to be someone who's just filling a void until he's able to run back to Brooke. She wants him to be certain of what he wants before he makes advances towards her. So she told him that they can't continue kissing, touching each other until he's certain that she is the person he wants to be with. And he did say that he's still processing everything. Of course, he's very upset about Brooke setting him free and telling him that he should go and be with Taylor. And then we have Brooke and Hope talking, and Brooke lets her daughter know that she has set Rich free, told him that it's okay to be with Taylor, it's safer for him, and she just wants to make a sacrifice for his happiness. And Hope is doing everything that she can to convince Brooke that she's making a big mistake and that Rich still loves her and that Taylor is not a saint. She's done things, she's human. And then we have Liam also telling Brooke that she should be fighting for her marriage. And after talking to Hope and then talking to Liam, she has a change of heart and she's decided that she wants to fight for Ridge. Then we have Thomas recalling his conversation with Sheila. He can't stop thinking about it, and Sheila's been calling him and just telling him he better continue to keep quiet. Steffi is starting to notice some weird and strange behavior from Thomas. So now we have Ridge, Taylor, and Steffi all looking at Thomas and realizing that something's not quite right with him. And the spoilers say that Carter and Ridge are going to overhear Thomas having a conversation with Sheila on the phone. So this is going to raise more eyebrows, and I think it's only a matter of time before Ridge and Brooke find out what Sheila has done. Then we have Sheila and Deacon. She is doing everything that she can to encourage Deacon to make a move on Brooke, don't give up. And I think Deacon is over it. I think he knows that Brooke does not want him. He told Sheila that Brooke made it very clear that she wants Ridge. She is not interested in a relationship with him. And while Sheila is raving about how great Taylor is, Deacon had to remind Sheila that no one should underestimate the love connection between Ridge and Brooke. And Deacon also happens to overhear Sheila having a conversation with Thomas. He doesn't know it's Thomas, but he knows that she's up to no good. So when he hears the tail end of her conversation, he says, "Scheming much?" And of course, Sheila tries to play it off like, "Oh, I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide." But he knows better than that. So the more Sheila harasses Thomas, the more Thomas and Sheila have these conversations, the closer we will get to the truth being revealed to everyone. And then we have Thomas and Hope. Hope tries to get Thomas to understand her point of view. She would like him to have some sympathy for her mom. And Thomas says he does understand where Hope is coming from, but he said he's going to do everything that he can to support the reconnection of his parents. Then we have Hope and Ridge. Of course, Hope is doing her best to try to convince Ridge to not give up on the marriage. And while Hope is doing her best to convince Ridge, Steffi walks in and she's very upset and she's telling Hope that her mother blew it. She made a big mistake. She's hurt her father one too many times and he's not going back to her. He's going to stay with Taylor, because that's where he belongs with his family, the Forresters, not the Logans. Ridge does set his kids straight. He lets them know that yes, Brooke has blown up their relationship and maybe it's not fixable. So he said maybe. He didn't say it's not fixable. And we've been watching him pining away for Brooke. We've been watching him sitting at his office thinking about the good times that he's had with his Logan. So we know that it's only a matter of time before he realizes that he just wants to go back home. And back home would be back home to Brooke and not with Taylor and his children. Next week's spoilers reveal that next week will be 35 years of The Bold and the Beautiful. And one day next week, they are going to do a tribute to Brooke Logan. And they're going to talk about her and all the loves of her life. They're going to focus on Brooke and all of the men that she's loved throughout the show, or at least the major ones, because I don't think they have enough airtime to show all of the men that Brooke has been involved with romantically. But they're just going to show the ones that had a real impact, I guess. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. It should be very interesting. We know that Brooke has a long history of kissing the boys and making them cry. So it's going to be quite interesting to see. And that is my commentary. If you liked it, hit like, subscribe, and leave comments. Thank you for your time. Until next time, ta-ta.